There are moments in human life when the unseen realm draws too near for comfort, when the veil of material existence grows thin, and one can almost hear the whispers of things that should not be heard. It is in these moments that the boldest among us falter, and the bravest feel an inexplicable chill. There is a war waged beyond our senses, a battle not of flesh and blood, but of principalities and powers, of rulers of darkness and wickedness in high places. And in this great conflict, there is one name that sends shudders through the ranks of the enemy, one name that, when spoken with faith, causes the unseen to tremble. That name is Jesus. To the natural mind, this may seem strange. What power could a name hold? What terror could be found in mere syllables arranged in order? But those who have lived long enough, those who have encountered the resistance of the unseen world, know otherwise. There is no name more opposed, no name more feared, no name more reviled by the spirits of darkness. They do not tremble at the names of philosophers or warriors, of kings or scholars. They do not cower at the mere mention of gods fashioned by human hands. But they do fear the name of Jesus. They recoil, they shrink back, they gnash their teeth in rage. For they know that in him all their plans come to ruin. Why should this be so? The answer lies in what they know and what many of us fail to grasp. They remember a time when there was no rebellion, when the morning stars sang together in the courts of heaven. They remember when they themselves stood in the presence of divine glory, servants of the Almighty, before pride found its home in the heart of their leader. They recall the terrible moment when they chose defiance over devotion, when the banner of revolt was raised against the throne of God. And they remember the voice like rushing waters, like the roar of 1,000 thunders declaring their doom. But above all, they remember the day when the plan of God unfolded in a way they could never have imagined. They had corrupted man, they had led him into darkness, they had bound him in chains of sin. They thought they had won. And then came the one whom they now fear. He did not come in power as they had expected. He did not arrive with an army of fiery angels to cast them into the abyss. Instead, he came as a child, fragile and weak. He walked among men, speaking words of mercy and truth. And when they conspired against him, when they moved the hearts of men to hatred and violence, when they nailed him to a cross, they thought they had triumphed. How they must have laughed when they saw his body bruised and broken. How they must have reveled in their supposed victory. But their laughter turned to horror, for on the third day he rose. The one they thought they had destroyed broke the chains of death, shattered the power of the grave, and declared that all authority in heaven and earth was now his. This is why they fear his name. They fear it because it is a name of absolute authority. There is no realm, no dominion, no power that is beyond his reach. The highest heavens belong to him, and the lowest depths cannot escape his gaze. When his name is spoken in faith, it is not an empty phrase, it is a declaration of dominion, a reminder of their defeat. They fear his name because it is a name of unbearable purity. They are creatures of darkness, bound by lies and corruption. In his presence, there is no room for deceit, no place for evil to hide. The mere mention of his name is like a flood of light piercing through the shadows, exposing them for what they are. They fear his name because it is a name of relentless love. This is perhaps what torments them most. They understand wrath, for they have earned it. They understand justice, for they have defied it. But they cannot fathom a love so deep that it would endure suffering for the sake of the undeserving. The cross is their ultimate humiliation, the moment when all their schemes unraveled, for they could not comprehend that the Almighty would humble himself, that the infinite would take on the frailty of the finite, that holiness itself would bleed for sinners. And so they fear the name of Jesus. They fear it on the lips of a child whispering a prayer in the dark. They fear it when it is sung in worship, when it is declared with faith, when it is called upon in desperation. They fear it because they know it is not merely a name, it is a banner, a weapon, a victory cry. It is the name that will one day bring all things to their rightful end, when every knee shall bow, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And yet how strange it is that men do not fear him as they should. The demons shudder at his name, but men speak it in vain. The powers of darkness tremble at the mention of Jesus, but men use it as a curse upon their lips. If only we saw what they see, if only we knew what they know, there would be no hesitation, no doubt, no reluctance in our hearts. We would not walk through this world with timid steps, fearful of what lies ahead. For we would know that we are armed with the greatest power in existence. You who bear his name, do you understand what you carry? When you speak his name with faith, you stand in the authority of the one who conquered the grave. When you pray in his name, you summon the power that cast out demons, healed the sick, and silenced the storm. When you walk under his name, you walk in the shadow of the Almighty, guarded by the captain of the Lord's hosts. And if you are here today, weighed down by fear, tormented by doubt, besieged by the darkness that whispers lies into your soul, then I say to you, speak his name, not as a ritual, not as an empty incantation, but as one who knows the truth. Speak it with a certainty that the war has already been won, that the enemy has already been defeated, that the one who bears that name stands victorious forever. And when the darkness presses in, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when the forces of evil seem to have the upper hand, remember this: the demons still fear him, the grave still shakes before him, the gates of hell have never withstood him. And one day, very soon, he will return, and they will flee before his presence once more. So lift your head, child of God, lift your voice, lift his name, and watch the darkness tremble